Hello and welcome. My name is Vanessa Gershwein and I'm an account manager here at TapResearch. And today we're doing a deep dive on feasibility. This training today is going to be geared towards those who are pulling feasibility for proposals or those on the sales team who are pulling feasibility to win new business. So today I'm already signed into an account. If you don't have an account and you need one, visit our website or email us at projectmanagement@tapresearch.com and we can help you out. After you create an account, you will come and have a dashboard similar to the one you see right now. To create a new project, all you have to do is say create new project. You're going to want to name this something that you'll remember, but for this we're just going to name it test. Here is where you would select where you are fielding your study. If you have a study that is multi-country, you will have to make a new campaign for each country to see its feasibility. But don't worry, I have a trick for you. You also select language here. After selecting country and language, you'll jump into the builder. For the purpose of pulling feasibility, you will focus on the elements that is respondent targeting and survey details. So let's jump in. Respondent targeting is where you build the different groups in which you are targeting. So let's say you wanted to target voters. You would select 18 to 99, as you have to be 18 to vote. And then you would select voter registration and say yes. So now you've built a group that is a voter that you've named voter that has the voting targeting criteria, and now you just need to put in a quantity. The quantity is how many completes you're looking for. So let's say you wanted to do another group, but you wanted it to be more narrow. You could either add the new group by saying add new group, or by saying create another group like this by just duplicating it. So let's say I wanted to also add in education, and I wanted them to be highly educated. Now that is how you would create targeting groups. Once you've created the targeting groups, you will need to go to survey details. Survey details is where you're going to enter the specs of the survey. That is the length, the incidence, and the days in field. So again, the length is how long the survey is. The incidence is how many do you expect to be able to complete after going through your screener. And the days in field is the amount of days you have to field. We have a pick your own price model, so you will throw in a price. And here you can see for both voting groups, I'm seeing 100 completes out of 100, meaning I can get all the completes I need. Now let's say for feasibility, you were looking for more detailed information. After you put in price and the specs, you will see that we have a drop-down menu that pops up. This drill down allows you to get a drill down of what exactly the completes would look like for those 100 voters. So let's say you didn't want to build out, you were balancing your whole survey on the states in which these people are located and also their ethnicity. So you could look, instead of building that all out in the tool, you could quickly look at it using this functionality. Select race. Now as it loads, you can see that here is the breakdown. In those 7 days, we can actually get around 11,000 completes. And you can see how those completes break down by race. So you can see that we're really strong in certain groups and less strong in others. You can also get the drop down by state. So you can see what states could you presume you would get your completes from. So instead of having to add each state individually, you can use this drop down function. So if you had a client that needed 50 completes from each state, you can see which state you might have to either have longer time in field for or higher CPI for, in order for you to get the completes you need. Another functionality I like to show is census balancing. So we do have census balancing within the US. We have it on age and we have it on gender. So if you come here and you census balance, you can click and unclick different groups. Here we're census balancing from 18 to 64. Once that loads, you can see that the feasibility for those completes went down to 3,000. And you can then again look at different groups. So you can see if I'm having it census balance, what effect did that have on breaking down of the different ethnicities. This is just a great way for you to get a high-level pulse check on feasibility. Now going back to survey details, I will say that these elements, length, incidence, days in field, and price, are what play together in order to figure out your feasibility. So let's say your incidence is actually only 15%, and you only had 1 day in field. You can see that you're no longer feasible. But maybe you have some flexibility and you're able to put price up to $10. You can see that one group was able to get that feasibility you needed. So you can play with these different elements. Let's say you're able to cut the survey down, or that the client doesn't mind if you have 14 days in field, but you only wanted $2 CPI. All of these elements play together in order to calculate your feasibility. So if your length, incidence, or days in field, or CPI change, so does our feasibility. I hope that gives you a great understanding of how our feasibility works. It's important to realize that these numbers that we're creating with the feasibility tool is based off of the last 2 weeks of respondents in our system. So these are just expected completes. Because our system is so dynamic, we don't always see the same users come back from the last 14 days to the next 14 days, but it does give us pretty accurate feasibility that you can rely on. Now, once you've looked at the feasibility, let's say you needed to build it out for another country. You can save and close the campaign, and you can clone it. So by cloning it, I'm creating the same targeting groups, but let's say I was doing it in Canada. You can see here that both of the voter registration groups are already there, and the survey details are already carried over. Now you can see the feasibility is not as high in Canada for these groups, but you'll be able to get a quick pulse for these different, for the feasibility for these different countries without having to rebuild every single time. I hope this has been helpful today. If you ever have questions or need support, please email projectmanagement@tapresearch.com, or you can use this intercom functionality and send us a message directly. This goes to me and my colleagues' inbox, and we'll be sure to get back to you within a few hours. I hope you have a great rest of your day.